once or twice a week. No, humans are much more complicated than that. Yeah, we're pretty simplistic at our basic core, but when it comes to society and how we interact with it, it's a lot more complicated than that. If you want to break us down to just our basic needs like food, shelter, clothing, and basic human companionship, that's pretty simple. Yeah, we all can understand that. But when it comes to the point of why we don't like ourselves or why we think our butt's too big or why we think our butt's too small or why we think that this person across the street doesn't like us, I mean, and why am I so shy when I don't want to be shy and all this other kind of fluffy crap, we're much more complicated than a 30-minute session sitting on somebody's couch. And yet, that type of thing, just talking to somebody does people good. And I guess they feel more open talking to somebody that they're paying. But people are not even going to be able to get that kind of help anymore because they will have the fear of being reported to the authorities. And having the authorities show up at your door and demand your guns. Who wants to deal with that? Nobody wants to deal with that. So yeah, they're absolutely right. People with mental issues, they're going to refuse to get help. Because they're not going to want to be labeled. They're not going to want to have the police or other government agencies showing up at their door just because they went and talked to a therapist. And you know it's going to... Hey, look, mental health professionals have already said that this is what's going to happen. And you would think that if we want to send people to these type of people, that they should know human behavior. If they're telling us this is what's going to happen, then why are we ignoring them? Oh, because it's really not about helping people, and it's really not about keeping people safe. This gun grab is all about that, grabbing your gun. Because somebody who thinks that they're smarter than you doesn't like the fact that you want to be able to take care of yourself without their assistance. That's what this is about. Don't doubt me. I mean, hell, you can't even... Look, if you doubt the whole point about these people in government just want to take care of you because they think they're smarter than you, then look no further than New York City's soda ban. I mean, it is getting so bad that Coca-Cola's come out with its own commercial. Remember the commercial about high fructose corn syrup? Well, that was because there was beginning to be such a backlash against high fructose corn syrup. Rightfully so. However, it was not the government's business to try to even think about regulating it, and that's why they came out with those high fructose corn syrups is good for you commercials. And now that they're wanting to ban large sodas and probably go even further, well, now Coca-Cola is trying to respond. Well, hey, we're not cigarettes here, is what Coca-Cola is saying. But hey, we've got the liberal government in New York City who's equating, the 32-ounce cup of soda, big gulp, as being the same as a cigarette. In that it is a danger to you, and you need to be protected from yourself, so they're going to ban it. However, New York City's giant soda ban gives a 3-month grace period for fines. That's right. New York City will give restaurants and food outlets a 3-month grace period before imposing fines for serving the large sugary drinks that will be banned. Well, I don't know. Why do you need to give a restaurant a 3-month grace period? Look, here's the new regulation. You can't serve anything or sell anything larger than 16 ounces. Well, you're gonna 2 months into it, you're gonna raid a restaurant, and the restaurant owner is gonna say, "Oh wow, I was confused. I didn't fully understand the law." Are you kidding me? This is how dumb that they think we are. Oh, yeah. These people are just so stupid. They're not going to be able to get the law for the first 3 months of it. So we're just going to have to give them a grace period so we can be seen as being caring and understanding because they're so stupid. Yeah, trust me, this is what they're thinking. This is what they think of you. And yet you go out there and you vote for them. Not conservatives, not me. But you moderates and liberals vote for them constantly. Because they're so enlightened. Enlightened about what? The board of the city's Department of Health passed the ban. Not even an elected body, but an appointed body. The board of the city's Department of Health passed the ban, the first of its kind in the nation, in September, arguing that excessive soda drinking was a significant cause of obesity and other health problems. Now, I'm not arguing that if you overindulge in anything, including soda, you are going to put on extra pounds. Plain and simple. So what is this? Now pay close attention to this, folks. Understand this, because this is where this is going. Don't doubt. I know some people thought, well, no, they'll never. They can't ban how much soda I drink. Really? Didn't they ban certain kinds of oils? And so you can only have certain amount of salt in New York. Didn't they ban all that? Didn't they ban cigarette smoking outside in New York? In certain places, you can't smoke outside in certain places. Outside. I mean, frankly, you probably get more, inhale more carcinogens, if you want to call them carcinogens, standing on the street corner waiting for a taxi or waiting for the bus to show up, than smoking a freaking cigarette. But hey, and look, I hate cigarettes. I think they're stinky. I think they taste awful. They smell awful. They make a person look awful. But am I wanting to ban it? No. So they've done all of this, and people are saying, well, they won't do any more than that. Then they ban the 32-ounce soda for what some people might call admirable reasons. We want to keep people thin. Well, let me tell you, a soda is not the only thing making people fat. In fact, a soda doesn't make anybody fat. Well, that's right, Rod. It's because they drink too much of it. They can't control themselves, so we've got to control it for them. So what's next? Well, folks, pay attention, because when they start proposing this stuff within the next 5 years, you will know that I told you this first. What is coming next? Portion control. Oh, yeah. Hey, look. They've already portion controlled the size of your soda. What's next? Your dinner plate. How much you want to bet that they're already talking about ways of limiting portion sizes? Why? Well, you can't have an extra large French fry because that contributes to making people fat. Don't doubt me, folks. They're already doing it. And the surprising thing is that a good percentage of New Yorkers are behind it, behind the ban. All right, look what they did in was it San Francisco? Or was it the entire state of California? They banned foie gras. I've never had it. I have no desire to try it. But there are people that thoroughly enjoy it. But there are people out there that are more enlightened than the rest of us who've decided that it's not something you should eat. Are you kidding me? No, look, the government is now getting in the realm of telling you what you can eat and drink. and how much of it you can eat and drink. And they're doing it by way of dictatorial powers via government boards, not via elected officials. So they are not accountable to the public. Notice Mayor Bloomberg didn't try to pass a law through the city council this way. No. It was unelected board members of the Department of Health. Guaranteed. Now, you can get mad all you want, but I guarantee you, folks, it's only going to get worse. Although there are some people out there in positions of power who are standing up against this type of tyranny. There's a sheriff who refuses to uphold Obama's new gun laws. And they're not even laws, his gun edicts. They're not I love this. Atlantic Wire. Well, there's a sheriff out there who's refusing to uphold Obama's new laws. They're not Obama's laws. They shouldn't be. You can count one local law enforcement agent who's not buying the executive actions just signed at the White House or any potential new gun legislation to come. Well, he didn't say that, but an Oregon sheriff is citing his constitutional duty in accusing politicians of attempting to exploit the deaths of innocent victims to enact new gun laws that he thinks would harm his law-abiding locals. Lynn County, Oregon Sheriff Tim Mueller has promised not to enforce any new gun laws enacted in the wake of the Newton shootings, making him pretty much the gun rights hero of a very big day for pro-gun America. The reason we're hearing so much from this obscure sheriff is that he sent a letter to Vice President Joe Biden and shared it with multiple news outlets like the Associated Press. There are two main kernels from his complaint. The first implies that politicians are exploiting the Newton massacre. And they are. Mueller has promised not to enact what he deems unconstitutional new gun laws and actions such as the 23 President Obama just signed into law. He didn't sign anything into law. Do people understand this? President Barack Obama didn't sign anything into law. All he did was he said, this is how it shall be, like an emperor, like a dictator, and he's using the so-called executive privilege to do it. There is no law. It is an edict. Plain and simple. Let's call it what it is. It's a dictatorial edict. And that, my friends, plain and simple, I don't care how you slice it, dice it, cube it, whatever, it's unconstitutional. You cannot sidestep Congress in that manner. It doesn't work in this country. Well, I shouldn't say that because it is. And he's doing it. And there are a lot. I wonder if Sheriff Arpaio is going to go along with this. I know he's walking on eggshells as it is down there because there are so many people either trying to sue him or oust him or what have you. But he's pretty much holding his ground. But I wonder if he's going to go along with Obama's edicts. I mean, you got to be, and here's what the Atlantic Wire continues to say. Somewhere in the undisclosed location, the powerful people behind the National Rifle Association are smiling. Oh, they hate Sheriff Mueller. Are you kidding me? Law enforcement? Well, he's probably not the only law enforcement officer that's going to refuse to bow down and kowtow to some presidential edict that is unconstitutional. He's just like Arpaio in the fact that he's just the first to openly say he's not going to do it. And you know what? Who can blame him? I mean, he's there. He's supposed to be there to uphold the law, and the Constitution is also our law, folks. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land, plain and simple. And yes, law enforcement officers like cops and sheriffs and all that kind of stuff are are supposed